Most people assume that eating late at night is a bad idea, especially for those over 65. You hear it all the time. Don't eat after 7 p.m. or late night snacks will ruin your health. But let me ask you something deeper. What if the issue isn't about when you eat, but what you choose to eat? In Europe and North America, thousands of seniors are quietly making small changes to their evening routines, and the results are more powerful than most doctors ever talk about. You see, after 60, your body starts shifting in subtle but significant ways. Digestion slows, sleep becomes lighter, the brain doesn't repair quite as quickly, and yet, the final few hours of your day may hold the greatest opportunity to reverse those effects. Not with supplements, not with strict diets, but with carefully chosen, calming foods that support healing while you sleep. I'm going to show you how, but first, let me tell you about Frank. Frank is 76, retired and living in rural Ontario. He used to be sharp, could recall every birthday in the family without checking a calendar. But a year ago, things started slipping. He forgot his keys twice in 1 week, lost track of conversations, woke up more tired than when he went to bed. His doctor said it was normal, just aging, but Frank's daughter didn't buy it. She was a nurse. She believed in elderly wisdom, in the kind of quiet signs your body gives you when something isn't right. So she started a simple experiment. She didn't ask Frank to overhaul his life. She just changed what he ate in the final hour of the day. And in just a few weeks, Frank's mind became clearer. His memory returned. He called it evening fuel, a mix of light protein, healthy fats, and specific micronutrients that work while you rest. That's what this story is really about. Elderly reflections drawn from real people like Frank, who teach us that late-night eating, done right, can become a secret weapon for senior health and longevity. Now, let's talk about the first major issue, nutrient deprivation at night. Most seniors eat dinner early, around 5 or 6 p.m., and then go to bed 4 or 5 hours later without another bite. That's a long fasting window, especially for a body that's already struggling to maintain muscle mass, balance hormones, and regulate blood sugar overnight. Research from the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine shows that a modest intake of protein before bed, like half a cup of cottage cheese, can improve sleep quality and muscle preservation in adults over 65. That's right, your muscles don't grow at the gym. They grow at night while you sleep. But they need fuel to do it. Without that fuel, your body starts pulling from reserves, and in seniors, those reserves are already thin. Frank started adding a spoon of cottage cheese with a few almonds and a slice of banana before bed. Within 10 days, his nighttime leg cramps eased, he began sleeping through the night, and most importantly, he woke up feeling more alert. No more fog, no more dragging through breakfast. It was a small act of self-care, but it changed everything. The second issue is even more critical. Cognitive strain caused by poor nighttime glucose control. Seniors often reach for toast, crackers, or a small glass of juice before bed. These seem harmless, but they spike your blood sugar and crash it by 2 a.m., leading to fragmented sleep, vivid dreams, or waking up feeling disoriented. Long-term nighttime glucose instability has been linked to a higher risk of dementia, but what if one fruit could help fix that? I'm talking about kiwi. Yes, the fuzzy green fruit you might overlook in the grocery store. Kiwi is rich in serotonin precursors, compounds that help regulate your sleep cycle, and antioxidants like lutein and vitamin C, which protect the aging brain. In a clinical trial published in the Asia-Pacific Journal of Clinical Nutrition, adults who ate 2 kiwis an hour before bedtime fell asleep faster, slept longer, and experienced better sleep quality. And here's the twist. It's not just about sleep. Better sleep leads to better blood pressure, stronger immunity, and clearer thinking during the day. This was true for Harold, a 72-year-old widower in New Jersey who suffered from sleepless nights after losing his wife. His daughter, a nutritionist, introduced him to a new ritual. 2 kiwis, a gentle walk, and no screens an hour before bed. Within 2 weeks, Harold began sleeping through the night. He told me later, "It felt like my mind came back online." That's what elderly motivation is all about. Not waiting for a prescription, but listening to your body and trying something gentle, something nourishing, something wise. So let me ask you again, is eating at night dangerous? Or have we been eating the wrong things all along? Frank, Harold, and thousands of seniors across the West are showing us that with the right bedtime choices, we don't just survive, we thrive. And if that idea resonates with you, I want to know, where are you watching from? The US? Canada? Somewhere in Europe? Drop it in the comments. This community of elderly wisdom grows stronger when we share. Not just what we eat, but what we learn along the way. And if this story sparks something in you, a memory, a question, a bit of hope, then go ahead and hit like, subscribe to Elderly Reflections, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the rest of this series. Let's uncover the 3 worst foods seniors commonly eat at night and the hidden damage they can do to your heart. This isn't just about nutrition. It's about restoring control, reclaiming energy, and remembering that even after 65, you still have the power to write your next chapter. If you think late-night eating is only about digestion, think again. Small changes to your evening snacks can sharpen your mind, restore your sleep, and bring back the sense of calm that many seniors long for. But what we haven't talked about yet is the damage being done by the wrong foods, the ones hiding in plain sight disguised as comfort. I'm talking about the foods many seniors still trust out of habit and the silent toll they're taking on your heart. Because here's the hard truth. What you eat after 8 p.m. could be quietly aging your arteries, even if your meals look small and innocent. Let's start with problem 3. Late-night processed carbohydrates and the illusion of comfort. Picture this, you've had a long day. Maybe it wasn't physically demanding, but mentally? You're dreamed. The television is on, the house is quiet, and you reach for something easy. A few crackers, a slice of toast, a couple spoonfuls of instant cereal. These feel harmless, even nostalgic. But here's what's happening inside your body. Your blood sugar spikes sharply and then crashes. That crash triggers cortisol, your stress hormone, which not only interrupts your sleep cycle, but also puts pressure on your blood vessels. Now that one snack might not sound like a big deal, but what if you do it every night? Over weeks and months, this repetitive pattern creates inflammation. And inflammation is the seed of every major heart condition, from hypertension to arrhythmia, from hardening arteries to silent stroke risk. I want to tell you about Amelia, 70 years old, living alone in a small village outside Florence, Italy. Her evenings were quiet, often lonely, and she developed a ritual: toast with jam and warm tea. Every night it was her comfort. But after a routine checkup, her cardiologist noticed something alarming: elevated CRP markers, a sign of chronic inflammation, and a resting heart rate higher than. Amelia didn't feel sick, but the damage had already begun. Her granddaughter, studying nutrition science in Milan, asked her a simple question: "Nana, what do you eat before bed?" That conversation changed everything. Together they replaced the toast and jam with 2 slices of avocado on rye crisp bread and a few pumpkin seeds. Just 3 weeks later, Amelia reported better sleep, fewer nighttime bathroom trips. Her heart quite literally calmed down. This is what we mean by elderly reflection. The moment you look back and realize the small things mattered more than you thought. Now let's move to problem 4. Hidden sodium and its grip on senior blood pressure. Seniors across North America are unknowingly consuming way too much salt at night. It doesn't always come from chips or fast food. Sometimes it's soup, frozen meals, or even cheese and crackers. These seem like light evening options, but they're loaded with sodium, which acts like a sponge inside your arteries. It draws water into your bloodstream, raising your blood pressure quietly, steadily, and without immediate symptoms. And what does that do to your sleep? It raises your heart rate, increases bathroom trips, causes morning fatigue, and, in severe cases, can trigger nocturnal hypertension, a condition that spikes your blood pressure while you sleep, increasing your risk of stroke by 40%. Let me share the story of Walter, 79, a retired postmaster from Ohio. Strong-willed, independent, still drove his own truck and mowed his own lawn, but every morning he woke up with pounding headaches and pressure behind his eyes. His doctor blamed aging, offered pills, but Walter wasn't interested in being medicated. Instead, he did something simple. He asked a dietitian to review his food diary. And guess what she found? Every night, without fail, Walter was eating light dinners with frozen chicken pot pies or canned tomato soup. His daily sodium intake was nearly double the recommended amount, and most of it came from those evening meals. When Walter swapped those out for a baked sweet potato with plain yogurt and chopped chives, suddenly, no more morning headaches. Within a month, his blood pressure readings dropped from 148/90 to 124/76, without a single pill. These stories aren't random. They're rooted in science, backed by data, and most importantly, guided by experience. These are life lessons from the elderly, not rules, but reminders. Your body doesn't want you to starve before bed. It wants to be supported. What processed carbs, salty snacks, or light meals are you reaching for out of habit, not intention? Because your heart remembers every bite, and your sleep will always reflect the way you feed it. But don't worry, we'll offer solutions, not just highlight the problems. We're going to build a new evening routine with easy food swaps, timing tips, and one powerful mindset shift that can protect your memory, improve your energy, and restore that inner strength we all carry. But before we get there, I want to ask you something. Where are you watching from tonight? Let me know in the comments. Are you tuning in from the UK, Germany, Florida, Norway? I'd love to know. And if this story has made you pause, reflect, or think differently about your nighttime routine, then I invite you to like this video, subscribe to Elderly Reflections, and ring the bell so you never miss another episode filled with elderly wisdom, senior health insights, and quiet motivation that could just change your life. You're not here by accident. You're here because a part of you still believes in doing better. Not for vanity, not for you, for clarity, for peace. That's the kind of change that lasts. So stay with me. This is where it all comes together. There's something sacred about the quiet hours before bed, a stillness that doesn't exist in the chaos of the morning or the busyness of the afternoon. And for many seniors, especially those living alone, these hours stretch long. The television hums in the background, the light from the hallway spills softly across the floor, and the body waits not just for rest, but for renewal. But here's the truth that most people overlook. Your body can't prepare if you don't give it the right tools. We've already seen how the right foods, like kiwi, cottage cheese, and sweet potatoes, can support your heart and your brain. And we've uncovered how the wrong foods, like toast, crackers, or high-sodium soup, can quietly sabotage your sleep, your pressure, your peace. But now it's time to bring it all together, because healing isn't just about what you eat, it's about how you eat. And whether you do it with intention or just by habit. Let me tell you about George. George is 82, a retired dentist from Vermont, and a man with a sharp mind and a sharp tongue. He's the kind of senior who still quotes Mark Twain, who still sends handwritten letters, and who remembers your birthday even if you don't. But after his wife passed away 2 years ago, George's evenings started to unravel. He stopped cooking real meals, started grabbing crackers, cold cereal, or just skipping dinner. He told himself it didn't matter at my age, who cares? But his daughter noticed. He was getting confused more often, sleeping poorly, waking up dizzy. His blood pressure spiked, and scans showed the early fog of cognitive decline. But instead of giving up, she sat him down and said 6 words. "We need to take back your nights." And so they did. Together they created a new ritual. Every night at 8:30, George prepared what he called his night tray. A few walnuts, half a cup of Greek yogurt with blueberries, a slice of rye toast with mashed avocado and a pinch of sea salt, sometimes a warm mug of turmeric milk with a touch of honey. No television, no phone, just a journal, a soft lamp, and some time. If he was feeling nostalgic, 3 months later, George's doctor couldn't believe the numbers. His blood pressure stabilized, his cognitive tests improved. But the most important part, George smiled again. He felt in control. Not perfect, but present. He told me, "I used to think aging was about decline, but it's really about adaptation." That's the kind of elderly wisdom this world needs more of. Not loud, not flashy, but quietly powerful. So let's talk about what you can do tonight, no matter your age. No matter where you're starting from, first, timing matters. Your last small meal should be about 90 minutes before bed. Not too late, not right before you brush your teeth. This gives your body time to digest without overloading your system. If you sleep at 10, aim for an 8:15 and 8:30 ritual. Light, mindful, gentle. Second, portion matters. This isn't a feast, it's nourishment. Small handfuls, half servings of balance of protein, healthy fat, and calming nutrients. Think walnuts, kiwi, avocado, spinach, Greek yogurt, chamomile tea, not all at once, just 2 or 3 per night. Rotate, experiment, and mostly. Listen to how your body responds. Third, environment matters. Turn off the screens, dim the lights, play soft music, or sit by a window. Eat slowly. Think of this moment as a gift to yourself. A reminder that you still matter. That this day was worth closing with care. And 4, stop drinking large amounts of fluid. After 8 p.m., a small herbal tea is fine. But too much liquid at night leads to sleep disruption, bathroom trips, and even risk of falling. Especially if you get out of bed quickly and your blood pressure drops. This is what senior health is really about. Not more pills, not stricter rules, but wiser rhythms, routines that restore, and rituals that remind us we're still here, Still choosing, still shaping our tomorrows, even at 70, 80, 90. Now you might be wondering, is it really that simple? Just a bowl of yogurt? Just a mug of milk? Can a few bites really change your body? And here's the answer. Maybe not right away, but over time, yes. These are the moments your cells repair. Your heart calms, your brain processes memories, your body makes growth hormones, restores blood vessels, and balances your mood. Every night is a chance to heal, but only if you let it. That's the gift of these quiet hours. Not to numb yourself, but to nourish yourself. And here's the real magic. When you care for your evenings, your mornings change. You wake up lighter, stronger, clearer. And the people around you, they feel that energy too. You move with more intention, more presence. You become, without even knowing it, a source of elderly motivation for the people who love you, your children, your neighbors, even strangers online who read your comments and think, maybe I can try too. This is how we lift one another up, through real stories, through reflection, through gentle action. So tonight I want you to try something. Just one small change. A handful of blueberries instead of toast. A glass of turmeric milk instead of wine. A few leaves of spinach and a boiled egg instead of canned soup. Not because you have to, but because you still can. And tomorrow morning, take a breath. Notice how you feel. Write it down. Let that feeling be the reason you try again the next night. And the one after that. This is your life, and it's still yours to shape. Now, before we close, I want to invite you to be part of this growing community. A place where elderly reflections aren't forgotten, they're honored. Where senior health isn't a problem, it's a purpose. If this video spoke to something inside you, like it. Subscribe, turn on the bell, and leave me a comment. Tell me where you're watching from. I really mean that. Whether it's Germany, Toronto, Florida, Oslo, or anywhere else, your voice matters, because the more we share, the more we remember. Our lives aren't over, they're evolving. And with every evening choice, every mindful meal, every quiet act of care, we're proving that elderly inspiration isn't about looking back, it's about choosing forward. Here's to your brain, here's to your heart, and here's to the rituals that remind you you're still worth healing for.